All right, hey guys, so this video will be over 12.01 text structure, origin of rights. So you can find it under week 7 right here in the modules section. Just scroll down to your ELA. We're going to click on it. And I'm just going to go through the lesson and kind of show you some important things to pay attention to. So again, we're going to be seeing Carolina in her story. So if we scroll down, it'll tell us what it is that we're going to learn about in this lesson. We're going to be focusing on text structure, which all of us are familiar with. Just scroll over. Okay, so make sure that you are reading every slide. This one's going to go over those proverbs and adages. Anchor chart again, I believe this was in a previous lesson, so it's just a review for you. Remember down here, you are just simply practicing it as well. Make sure that you're doing those. The next one is over Benjamin Franklin's museum. Again, please make sure that you are reading each one. Sorry, it's slowly loading. For the try it, there's kind of like a little experiment down here. The answer is available for you at the bottom. This one is going to be going over the 4 main types of text structure, so please make sure that you pay attention to it. On this little section right here, each one of them will have about a 1-minute video that explains it as well as the chart. So if you just click through each one, it'll give you that 1-minute video explaining, and then you see the anchor chart that gives you a visual explanation as well. Okay, there is a think about it. Remember, that's, just optional. It tells you in your interactive notebook, you do not have to write that down. Taking notes would be a good idea in case you are struggling with a certain type of text structure. All right, on this, it's talking about the types of governments and the rise of their rights. So make sure that you are clicking through every single slide and reading it. So, taking some notes as you're doing that as well. Now down here, it's not loading, but there is a story right here. Make sure you read that, okay? It's not very long. And then down here, it says to compare and contrast the text structures of the 2 texts above. Remember, that is optional. It is not something that you have to do, but just make sure that you're reading the information that's provided. On the next slide, it will talk about reading with a purpose and why it's good to read with a purpose. But if we scroll down, we have the rise of rights again. You do not have to read that. You already read it in the previous slide. It's the same information. And then down here, defending rights, I would read that one since you didn't do it before. This is where it says that you are going to compare and contrast the 2 texts that were in this slide. Again, you do not have to do this. This is an optional activity, and there is nowhere for you to actually upload the assignment. Here's a compare and contrast right here, talking about our Bill of Rights. Make sure that you do this this little slide right here. It's going over the different types of text structures and things like that. Writer's Workshop. Okay, on this page, you do need to pay attention because it is talking about double negatives. So there are 2 questions on the test that you will take that will be talking about double negatives. If you do not know what a double negative is, it is right here, okay? Even if we hover over this and click, it says 2 words indicating no in a statement, which creates a positive statement. There is a graphic organizer down here, or anchor chart, not graphic organizer, that shows you how it is. So these are your positive, and here's how we can form a negative. We can either use the word no, or never, or don't. To form a negative sentence, add the word not or never to it. Okay, so pay attention to this because there are 2 questions on your quiz that talk about double negatives. I would actually strongly recommend at least looking at the double negatives printout. You do not have to do it, but at least look at it to see what other examples there are. Okay, so on this, it is talking about writing, brainstorming, researching. This is not something that you will be doing right now, okay? So You can look over this, but it is not something that you will need to complete. Down here it says to read this and form a paper. We are not doing that right now. Okay, same with this page. It's all about brainstorming and creating our graphic organizer for the paper, which again, we're not doing right now. Adages and proverbs quickly gives you an example. Again, it says in your notebook, optional. Again, you get to your lesson summary where it is that it tells you what you learned. And then on this page, it's going to say to take your quiz. Again, we are going to go back into our modules. Scroll back into week 7. We're going to click right here where our rocket is. There are 10 questions, so each question is worth 2 points. Now you're going to have to read like a lot of the other quizzes that you've taken, okay? Pay attention, this one is talking about selecting a statement that supports inferencing, okay? So pay attention to the question. This one's gonna focus on, shows how a wolf's ancestry helps dogs. Okay, so a lot of it you are going to have to read. There are 2 questions right here. See where it says double negative? So please refer back to your notes on the double negative questions. There are 2 of them. This one is talking about the text structure, and it's talking about something specific from that excerpt. Here's another double negative. And then if we scroll down here, we're looking at the overall structure. So if you paid attention to those 4 types of text structures that was in the text, these should be fine for you to do. Please refer back to your notes when taking it, and remember that you have 3 attempts at this quiz. All right, guys, that was it.